I think this is a proper camera setup despite my disgusting ass room. It is a complete mess right now. But that's besides the point. Let's get to the video topic. So, what am I going to title this crap again? Wait, I'm going to title this Why I Stopped Animating, Why I Stopped Computer Animating, Why I Stopped Creating Animations. Okay, so basically it's why I stopped animating. Yeah, if you go back, this is gonna be a little cringe. If you go way back at this channel's infancy, you will see that it used to be an animating channel. Yeah, it used to be a channel for animating. I had one video which I'm not really proud of. It's very cringy, created by let's just say it was created by a much younger professor, or I was in middle school when I created this video. Was I in middle school? 20, to 2010 I was in middle school. I was a cringy 8th grader. I was cringy. I was in my teens. I decided to try my luck at creating an animation channel, which wasn't successful. Now, why it wasn't successful? That's not what this video is about, whatever, right? Yeah, so I had a passion for animating, essentially, which initially I would use Microsoft PowerPoint to create these animations. We're talking even way before 2010. We're talking like 2000, freaking 8 or something like that. Yeah, 2008. Way back when I was a super young dude, right? So and again, if I lost his initial footage, pretty much like I lost his footage, but I'd make these cringy, cringy as fuck PowerPoints, whatever, these animations, and I use Microsoft Paint to make these videos. Microsoft Paint, the XP version, by the way, the better version, better than that shitty ass, Windows 10 version, right? That trash, right? So I use Microsoft Paint, and I draw frame by frame the animations, right? Which I thought were animations. These were, I thought these were. Well, yeah, you can say these were animations, right? These were animations. I even had dialogue in between. Like I had an entire story for this movie that I created. It was, I'm not even gonna tell you what the hell the movie was named because it's so cringy. Like it was a movie. It was this Hollywood high budget crap, whatever. This is what happens when you're a teenager watching these movies, whatever. When you grew up watching, crap like Johnson is a Marine, G.I. Joe. What's that other one? I think it's called Little Soldiers. Comment below, whatever. It's the movie where the little toy soldiers, whatever, they become kind of real, whatever, and then they're animated because some microchip disaster happened with this engineer or whatever. But yeah, so. By the way, I love the movies I listed previously. They're not actual crap. I love those. That's why I created animations based off them. I was inspired from it. Also, I was inspired from Dragon Ball Z as well, because the way I would draw the characters, super buff. Because you have to. Muscles look awesome on anybody, even females. Yeah, muscles look awesome, right? So, I grew up animating. I used Microsoft PowerPoint. I used Microsoft XP. And I would take the time out of my day from whatever I was doing. I was a student, obviously at the time, whatever. When you're a kid and you're in middle school, you're a student. Yeah. It's not like we 14-year-olds have. It's not like we 12-year-olds have 9 to 5s. We got to get back to. We 11-year-olds have 9 to 5. Yeah, I was 11 years old, by the way, doing all that. So I wasn't even a teen. I was a preteen, right? I was a little freaking sack of shit. I was a little buck just creating these animations, taking time out of my day, just animating. I would draw frame by frame the movement. And I would study motion to a very compulsive extent. I would look at motion, I'd look at how the body reacted after it was punched. So that would involve me Googling multiple people getting punched and knocked the hell down. Hell, I'll draw cars moving. I study the motion of wheels. I draw the wheels, all that fun stuff. I'll do all of that, right? Which to the point where it got me thinking, yo, maybe I want to do this full time when I'm older. And now I'm older and I'm not even an animator anymore. I don't even animate videos anymore. And then fast forward to 2010, I decided to make it a cartoon street wrestling kind of thing where I would make these characters which is funny because there's a character based off of me, and I was never buff at the time. I was just a I was just a skinny high schooler, this skinny teenager, right? And I wanted muscle so bad, and I would personify myself through this character I created. Hell, I'll even put him on screen. This is how the character looked, by the way, right? It's like, it's funny if you put it side by side, it's like a funny one-to-one comparison of how I'm gonna look in the future, which is freaking awesome because I always want to be the big bad dude. I always wanted to be huge, muscular. I wanted that as like a skinny high schooler. Like who wouldn't want to look like that? Who wouldn't want to be this? Fast forward, it's funny. Like I'm kind of living the dream right now because like I drew how I wanted to look, and I ended up looking like that. It's freaking poetic in a way, but yeah. So I made these characters. I had names for them. I had a certain modus operandi, if you will, for them, like how these guys thought. I even had a certain temperament. Like each character had his own temperament. Each character had his own finisher. And it's so obvious who this character is also inspired by. You know, everyone's favorite wrestler, John Cena, like which like people hated Cena initially, like they didn't like him. Well, during my time, it's funny. During my time, we had a mixture of people hating him and loving him. It was much more outweigh of people loving him, by the way, which is the case. And right now, it's like they're kissing his ass, kind of like. Well, because he's been gone doing all these movies and shit, right? He's been going to Hollywood, but that's beside the point. But yeah, so Cena, big inspiration growing up as a kid. I watched wrestling, WWE, and that's what Carlton Wrestling was inspired by. John Cena is my favorite wrestler of all time. I love watching him wrestle. Even the character's finishing move, which is so cringe. I named him TSA, the Special Ace. It's so cringe going back at it. It's like, what the hell was I thinking naming him that? Well, it's not that cringe. It's not that much of a cringe name. Besides the Carlton Wrestling, because there are two videos, whatever. The second video I'm more proud of because the animation is the animation is much more polished. I took much more time, and also I was much older. So how old was I? I was 16 going on 17. So I was 16 years of age. I had, which by the way, when you're 16, you still have cringe left in you. There's still a lot of cringe in you. Hell, there's cringe in me right now. As a guy in his mid-20s, I still have cringe within me right now, right? But it's a cringe that I embrace. I embrace this cringe. But back then I was this awkward 17-year-old drawing how I wanted to look, skinny as fuck. And I draw these characters. They were just like these characters were powerful. They were robust. They had character to them. They had swagger to them. They had a certain way of carrying themselves. And the second video I released, I'm super proud of that video. If you show me that video right now, I will not cringe. I won't go like, I look at it and be like, yeah, I animated that because I spent much more time animating that video as opposed to the preview video, the must see on YouTube, a must see video or whatever, like those cringy. By the way, I titled it must see Carlton Wrestling video, like I titled some cringy dog shit like that, or I titled it that because titles like that got so many views. So if you would title it, this is back in 2010 YouTube, back when you youngins weren't even alive. You generation before my generation. We're talking the early Gen Zers. You guys don't even know how YouTube was, bro. It was like 2010 YouTube was an entirely different beast. It was much more fun, if you ask me. Much more, less commercialized than it is right now. Now it's more commercialized, it's more mainstream, and so you have a bit more corporate and media getting into it. Why YouTube is not as fun as it once was. But again, that's it. I'm going on a tangent a bit. I'm going on a rant a bit. This isn't a why I hate YouTube now video. It's a why I stopped animating YouTube videos now, right? Kind of. I can't even speak right now. But yeah, I titled it that because I expected to get a bunch of views, which I ended up doing so. But looking back, I'm like, oh, this video was so freaking cringe, and I wanted to get the video down so badly. But part of me is like, you know what? Leave it up there because it reminds you that video is so trash that I want to make better videos than that. So I leave that up as a reminder to make better videos than that piece of trash that I released. And then the second one got released right now. I'm super proud of the second one because I spent so much time animating it. I spent so much time looking at wrestling moves. accounting for physics, which the physics are not perfect, by the way, but hell, I animated a panel in which one guy took like this sort of like super winter soldier serum, whatever. So he had this, he had this capsule, whatever, not a capsule, but he had this elixir, special elixir, which he drunk it. It was like steroids, right? And then he went from this pencil neck peak to like this massive freaking Hulk of a freaking beast, right? This guy went this massive Hulk of a beast, and my character, right, was standing there looking at him transform, like, you know, shocked, like, oh my god, this guy's about to kill us, right? And he's gonna whoop my ass, right? So then like it transitions to like this panel of let's get chase, whatever, and there's a train scene, and if you want to know how that ends, you know, click that video. I'm probably gonna leave a link to it. Click that video because I'm actually proud of that animation. Now, what stopped me from animating was, it's gonna sound cliche, but I didn't have enough time anymore out of the day. So I was going from middle school to high school, and I didn't know how to balance my art with school because teachers would just throw assignments at me left and right, and I would just get so frustrated. Which is why I took that frustration out on. I would still draw, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't animate because animating is very tedious, guys. It's not this. It's not, mind you, I'm doing this on Windows XP, right? Which, by the way, we ended up leaving XP to go on 7. And through the transition, whatever, we still had, in this transition, we had different Microsoft Paint, which I was really pissed off about. I can't stand the new Microsoft Paint they have. It pisses me off for one of two reasons, because the line tool that I love using, the line function, you would initially like click, like so you can click and draw as many conjunctions as you can to this endpoint. You would click a line, and you would simply just draw. Like you draw a polygraphic shape. I guess you can call it polygraphic shape. It's this poly this shape, whatever, right? Using this line, you would just have these conjunctional pieces, and the pieces would just fit together. Now with this updated Windows Paint section, right, you have to click a line, click the center of the actual image, find the endpoint line, and then attach it. And you would keep having to do that before you have a complete polygon, and that's just shit. It's even more tedious. So they made Microsoft Paint even more tedious, and they had the paint function, the colors were placed on the top of the actual screen. So which will take you half a millisecond longer, and you might be thinking, Professor Art, stop bitching, it's just half a millisecond. No, half a millisecond, guys. Animating is very tedious. So half a millisecond, time is money. Even though I wasn't making money from this shit, like hell, I'm not making money from this video right now, right? But even though I wasn't making money from this shit, yo, it got so tedious that the tools were just placed in a manner, they were organized in a manner that just wasn't very advantageous to my liking. I hated the way it was set up. So much so that I ended up downloading Windows XP. The XP Paint, because it was, in my opinion, is vastly superior. I don't give a fuck about the whole Windows 10 update. They have this, Microsoft Paint sucks in my opinion in Windows 10. They have this new graffiti section. They have these shapes, they have these bulletins, they have these new formatting options, right? However, their old school functions were just, their simplicity cannot be rivaled, they can't be matched. It was so simple, it was so easy to draw things, so easy to draw polygraphic, or I don't even know the terminology for it, whatever. Polygon-like items, they're so easy to draw them. And the way they would come out would be super smooth, right? So that was an initial hindrance, which ended up not being much of a hindrance after all, because I ended up downloading the original XP software, right? Then late high school happened. So I had my SATs, I had my standardized tests, and I kind of stopped animating. Even though, by the way, the video released, when was it? It was junior year, actually. I still managed to release the video. So I was a 16-year-old going on 17. I released what the fuck did I call it? I called it Bad Boys Most Extreme Wanted. Oh, man. That name is cringe, kind of, because it's like, so, let me explain what the Bad Boys were. So the Bad Boys comprised of, these characters were inspired by my cousins and my brother. So it's like, if you put this on screen right now, like how we look now compared to how we look back then, it's funny. We almost kind of look like these characters. It's like I was creating an adult version of us, and we ended up kind of looking like them, you know, in our adult forms. Which, except my younger brother ended up being 2 inches taller than me. So it's like, what the fuck, bro? Like, you know, Little man really grew the fuck up. I mean, like he's not as jacked as your boy right here, right? And he's not as jacked, but he's getting jacked. He's going the gym. My brother's gonna get freaking huge. It's gonna happen, right? But not huger than me, damn it. I'm gonna be Thor. I'm Mario. He's Luigi. You know, I'm Thor. He's Loki. This video is a sibling rivalry. It's just like, you know, me asserting dominance, damn it. But yeah, if you look at the characters, it was inspired by it. So I was 16 years of age. I released a video, right? I still got it up, right? Then senior year happened. I was getting ready for college. This is when animating became like, I stopped animating entirely. I didn't post a single animating video ever. I stopped animating completely. And yeah, that's why I stopped animating videos. And it's crazy. So the images you're seeing on screen right now of me drawing, I had so much fun drawing this or whatever, and it really just made me realize how I fell out of love with animating for, in retrospect, trivial reason, because I could have made time. I could have still made time for creating these complex animations, which is why, by the way, I'm creating a series. I'm gonna draw my own manga panels. Yeah, it's this is an announcement video as well. I'm breaking into the market of building these stories, creating lore, creating fiction, creating this artificial universe, this fictitious universe. And I'm having fun, by the way. I'm having fun with it. It's kind of like animating, but not animating, because I don't have to individually render these images and worry about moving them frame by frame. I just have to draw the after opposing effect, which is it's crazy, because I'm still gonna find a way to make these people look lifelike, make them look larger than life, if you will. Now this is just a push-up. This is an exercise montage that I ended up drawing, but for my other channel, Professor Arts Lift. I don't even know my own. Professor Art Lifts. Yeah. Why the fuck did I call Professor Arts before? See, I can't even think right now. I can't even think straight right now. Professor Art Lifts, right? Professor Art _ Lifts. I don't know, clicking, right? So I drew these animations for that channel because I wanted to describe the movements, but I didn't have footage of me exercising. So I thought, you know what? I'm a Professor Art. Why don't I just show them me drawing it? And yeah, that's basically why I stopped animating videos. Why I stopped creating computer animations, essentially. And it sucks. I fell out of love with the overall passion. It was a passion of mine that I fell out of love with. And if I had to go back in time, I would try to make more time for it. I motivate myself to creating more time. Like I would just try to like say, yo, bro, stop stressing out. I'll go to my teenager self and tell him, yo, don't stress out. You can make time for this. It's possible to make time. You know, the time you're spending watching anime, you can use this time to animate. You know that, right? Yeah, it's ironic. So I'm watching anime, and I could animate, but I choose not to. I choose to consume instead of create, which is a perfect. It's a perfect recipe for stagnation, if you will. Consuming and not producing, which is another philosophical discussion we can have for a different video topic. But yeah, that's it for the video, guys. Audio must suck. It probably sucks. We're going to find out together if the audio sucks or not when I'm editing this. Peace, guys.